Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about how to beat the new Week 4 hard stratagem for Space Marine 2. Now, the Week 4 hard stratagem is actually pretty easy compared to even last week's on Decapitation. This one is on Obelisk. It reads Battlefield Conditions. The Emperor protects. One player gains a buff that restores 75% HP to all squad members and knocks back enemies in the area of effect every 90 seconds. If the player dies, another player gains a buff. This is an incredibly powerful battlefield condition for your benefit, though I will say, when this explosion goes off, it will blow up barrels around you and damage you, which does suck, but that's like the only downside of it. The other battlefield conditions are Broken Bulwark. Bulwark will have 50% less health, will deal 50% less damage to enemies, and will not be able to parry blockable attacks. I would just not use Bulwark at all for this mission. And the next one is Heavy Burden. Heavy will have 50% less health, will deal 50% less damage to enemies, and will not be able to parry blockable attacks. So they have removed like the two strongest classes in the game from this one. But to be honest, with Emperor Protects, it doesn't matter too much, and there's some pretty good build combos you can do and class setups regardless without these guys. Now, for the build setups, I would just take, a tactical secure stockpile here. Secure stockpile reads equipment charge restored by 1 for all squad members. Cooldown is 60 seconds. I think attaching a Pyroblast or Tactical to literally any team comp in this entire game is just going to trivialize most content. Really, all you have to do is just hold down the button, put burn on guys, absolutely wipe out hordes, and then put down aspects of things like precise calibration and concentrated fire when the boss shows up. Now, precise calibration reads, enemies marked by Auspex scan take an additional 75% damage, but Auspex scan radius is reduced by 25%. This will stack with the perk over here, Concentrated Fire. Auspex scan zone lasts 60% longer, and enemies marked by Auspex scan take an additional 120% damage, but they lose the mark and they leave the scanned area. When you put these together and a boss shows up, you can just pop down one Auspex on them, and you will pretty much just nuke them with their team. The main filter in Space Marine 2 for absolute difficulty and hard stratagems is always going to be the boss spawns, because as of patch 8.0, bosses not only have a 33% HP increase, but you can also find upwards of 2 of them in this game, which is pretty brutal for a lot of players. Fighting 2 Hellbrutes in a map can absolutely wipe a lot of guys, and having an Auspex to just nuke them down with your team in like 2 seconds is incredibly valuable. This is why the Tactical is so strong right now. He is very squishy, but the Pyroblaster puts out so much damage. The burn of this weapon is simply broken right now. It is one of the strongest weapons in the entire game. Easily S tier, and basically put him up a whole nother tier. On top of this, you could take a Vanguard with the Inner Fire perk or Amazul if you want, because things like this do kind of trivialize the game. Healing perks in this game are very powerful, because anything that breaks the health pickup economy is just going to be top tier, and this really makes the game go quite easily, because Amazul is pretty broken. I'm surprised they haven't nerfed it yet, but for now, very powerful. Inner Fire as well, because CDR is also an incredibly powerful ability, but right now, the Bulwark class is not usable in this stratagem, so I would just kind of skip over this, because you don't really get any benefit out of Invigorating Icon. And as far as classes like the Assault go, Fervent Efficiency is pretty strong. I probably wouldn't take Assault into this unless you want to take a Power Fist build, because Power Fist is by far the strongest option on Assault currently, but Assault is also one of the hardest classes to play in the game, so a lot of players probably won't want to do this, so I would just take like a Tactical Vanguard and Sniper, because Sniper is pretty easy. Sniper has perks like Purification, which is mainly activating Camo Cloak, reduces negative status effects, and restores all contested health. This perk is incredible, makes you very, very tanky, and also just makes it very easy to get all your CHP back. It will positively carry you like the hardest scenarios, and also things like the Pattern of Excellence perk here, performing 3 consecutive headshots for equipment charged by 1. Cooldown is 30 seconds. These are simply going to dump out so many melta bombs a game, shock grenades, frag grenades, and stuff like that on top of the secure stockpile perk from Tactical. They're going to have a pretty easy time, and overall, the Sniper class is just like a very easy class to carry with, because once again, going invisible is very good for getting people up, getting your CDR back off things like Squad Renewal is very easy, and using the perk here to constantly get your CHP back is basically free stims over and over and over, and his best weapons are by far things like the Last Fusel and the Bolt Carbine, if you're curious. And as far as the Vanguard setup goes, Power Axe tech for his Zone of Impact tactical prowess is very strong, balance or fencing. You could choose the top tree or the bottom tree. It really doesn't matter a whole lot, because once you parry and do a power wave now, getting the 33% HP breakpoint to actually use tactical prowess on top of Zone of Impact is very easy, and the Vanguard has a ton of damage reduction already with perks like Thrill of the Fight, and the perk down here, Conviction, which can both stack together for a 45% health damage reduction. He is one of the stronger classes in this game for True Solo currently, because he has this stupid amount of damage reduction, and this new Power Axe tech really buffed him up a ton. and being able to heal just trivializes a lot of content, like I said previously. So a really powerful option for sure. If you want to take Assault to this, the block Power Fist on top of the precise calibration and concentrated fire aspects does do a stupid amount of damage off the charge attack. I would build it this way for things like fast preparation, because the 1+ speed on this weapon doesn't matter at all, doesn't really affect your charge rate whatsoever, and perks like this just get it out 30% faster, so super strong effect here. And perks here like Focus and Tension, when your health is below 30%, you take 50% less health damage for preparing heavy attacks, are incredibly powerful to simply get you a ton of health damage reduction while charging up your strongest attack, and can very easily get you some breakpoints. Though I also want to mention that currently, the Assault's Overcharge perk here, damage from charged melee attacks increases by 25%, is not properly working on the Power Fist at all for whatever reason. Unlike the Bulwarks perk here of the same name, Overcharge in the Prestige perk tree, this one works for literally every heavy attack in the game pretty much at the moment, and this one only works with like the Ground Slam on the Thunder Hammer. I don't know why it's that way, it might be a bug, but either way, take Armor Reinforcement if you're going to be using the Assault here, because this one actually functions currently, and this one doesn't do anything for you. And the perk here, Defense Mechanism, contested health fades 50% more slowly. This makes it far easier to survive on this game. And the perk here, Defense Mechanism, contested health fades 50% more. And the perk here, Defense Mechanism, contested health fades 50% more slowly, simply makes it very easy to survive in this game, especially when you stack it on top of the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol, because this thing's CHP recovery is absolutely ridiculous right now. One day they will be rebalancing the ranged weapon CHP recovery to like favor melee instead, but for now this weapon's kind of OP. I would build it into like ammo economy, but if you stack this with Defense Mechanism, it's quite easy. And the final perk I would grab is something like Hammer of Wrath. After using your jump pack, you take 30% less range damage, you don't lose control when taking heavy hits, and can be knocked back for 15 seconds. Having range damage reduction versus Chaos on Assault is super valuable, and a 30% flat range damage reduction is very strong regardless, so I definitely would pick this up. That's pretty much all there is for the Assault class. As far as other tactical options go, you could take the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol. This is very strong, but if you do have a Squad Renewal Sniper on your team, you could benefit from like an actual headshot weapon like the Heroic Bolt Pistol, but for the most part, I do think, once again, the Rate of Fire Plasma Pistol is just the best option on tactical, because having the Stagger versus Soul Reaper Cannon Terminators is invaluable. There are times where you'll simply be caught out by a Soul Reaper Cannon Terminator and be able to just nuke your HP down, and if you're unaware, tactical has like zero damage reduction perks whatsoever. His only real tank perk is the perk down here, Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. But as far as things like Conviction go, range damage reduction, the only range damage reduction he is getting in this game at all off his own class is the Adrenaline Surge bonus of a perfect block from a block weapon. Upon getting an Adrenaline Surge charge, which literally just means perfect blocking, you will get a 60% range damage reduction for 2 seconds with block weapons. Very powerful. One of the other reasons that block weapons in this game are the overall strongest currently. Just keep that in mind if you want to use this. Though I also want to mention that on the Vanguard, if you want to bring like a really face roll weapon, Ranged Melta is very easy to use currently. They also buffed this in patch 9.0 to have a significantly better range damage fall off. I think this is the overall best Melta rifle in the game at the moment, and you also have really good perks down here like Decisive Reload for ammo economy. Now alternatively, Bolt Carbine at close range, the automatic version I mean, is very powerful for CHP recovery as well, and Vanguard is actually blessed with some pretty good guns because the accuracy Oculus also has a ×2 headshot multiplier as of like patch 9.0, so all three of these are pretty good, and Instigator is probably the worst option. Just want to mention that in case you were unaware. And some other perks you could take are things like Close Combat Focus. You take 20% less range damage rather than Conviction, but to be honest, Conviction, when your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. I think this is far better than the Close Combat Focus, because right now we are in the era of Chaos Spawn, and Chaos Spawn do hit you in melee, so you actually get less value out of this perk. I do prefer this one over that. And you could take Hone Reactions here as well. When your health is less than 50%, your perfect dodge window is doubled. This perk is definitely better without healing perks, because oftentimes you will go over the 50% like breakpoint here, but a big thing is this perk will function upon you getting like your CHP below 50%. Let's say you get like a massive hit from a Chaos Spawn and then you jump back and you have to like shoot them with a perfect gun strike. You are more likely to get that perfect gun strike off of this perk when you're below 50% HP, so it's pretty useful to get your CHP back with this, though obviously consecutive execution, 90-second melta-bombs, shock grenades, crack grenades, and frags is better. That's up to you. I just wanted to mention this because this perk is pretty fun. And that's pretty much all there is for like basic build setups here. Like that isn't too complicated this week. This one is pretty easy. I do think the Inferno pistol is pretty good versus Chaos as well if you want to use this, but it doesn't have great synergy with your Pattern of Excellence. And hopefully these guys helped you. I'll make one of these every week because some people do seriously struggle with these new weekly hard stratagems because they just haven't played Absolute a lot and they want those accolades for their heroic weapons. And come on, guys, who can blame them? Who doesn't want to like fist fight a Carnifex with the new heroic chainsword? It's pretty damn fun, but hopefully this helped you guys. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, take it easy. Bye.